Hello everybody, my name is Kai, and welcome back to Warframe. Today we'll be taking a look at the Kuva Bramma, a heavy bow acquired from the Kuva Lich system. But before we get started, I would just like to remind everybody that I do have a Patreon now, but check it out at the link in the description below to directly influence the content that gets made on the channel. A huge thanks to all of my patrons, the Mad Monk, Scotty Nose, Young Mung, Ward Platypus, and Matt Goat. You guys are awesome and help make all of this possible. But getting on back to the Kuva Bramma, I personally find the Bramma to be one of the best primaries, which is in line with what the rest of the community feels. Even after its ammo nerfs in the Veilbreaker update, I don't feel it made that big of a difference because all you need to do now is just run an ammo mutation. But pairing up its absolutely amazing stats with the fact that it's an AoE weapon, which is all the rage right now, and also a Kuva weapon, which means it gets an innate element of your choosing, I can see why people like this weapon so much. Although the Kuva Bramma may look like your traditional oversized bow, it plays very differently from one. Instead of shooting a traditional arrow, it shoots a mini explosive that will split into smaller explosions with smaller radiuses. To fire the bow, you must fully draw it back. It will not fire at half draws, but that is not a big deal since it has a naturally fast draw time, and fire rate mods give it a double bonus. You can also detonate its arrows mid-flight with the use of the alternate fire button, which will come into play later. The bow also has innate blast damage on the explosion, and of course the element of your choosing from the progenitor system when you spawn your lich. Speaking of progenitors, I find Toxin to be the best progenitor for the Kuva Bramma for a multitude of reasons. Using Toxin on your Bramma allows you to make corrosive or viral specifically with only one mod, freeing up other mod slots, and also is very strong paired with Hunter Munitions / builds, which are amazing on the Bramma. They're so good because the Bramma has such high innate critical stats, and the fact that it's a large AoE weapon with decent status chance means it can affect a lot of enemies with a very high damage / tick, which is why our build on the Bramma today will be focusing around Hunter Munitions and Viral. After the nerfs to AoE weapons with the Veilbreaker update, I find that running ammo mutation mods like Vigilante Supplies or Sniper Ammo Mutation are almost necessary, as it has an ammo pickup of 1 and an ammo maximum of only 5. Personally, I like to use the Vigilante version as it has a chance to boost your crits from one tier to the next, which on the base build will boost some of your yellows into oranges, but on this Zephyr build right here has the chance to make some of them into reds. Galvanized Chamber will be giving us our multi-shot, and then our critical stats are going to come from Critical Delay, Vital Sense, and Hunter Munitions, obviously to give us that slash from our other 2 critical mods. In terms of actually making viral, because of our Toxin progenitor, we get to use primed cryo rounds, which offers the biggest bonus of all of the elemental mods, which is a huge damage increase. And primary merciless gives us that base damage alongside extra reload speed, which increases the fluidity of the gameplay loop. Vial acceleration provides us with 180% fire rate to offset the negative that critical delay gives, and we use a Bane mod, specifically Bane of Corrupted here, to double dip on the slash procs from Hunter Munitions. And then finally, in this last slot, you can use a lot of different things, something like bladed rounds for more critical damage when aiming, serration for an increase in base damage, lots of other mods. You could use heat, you could use vigilante armaments for multi-shot, firestorm to increase your blast radius, but I like to use hammer shot because it provides you with more crit damage and status chance without really having to do anything compared to something like bladed rounds. Being a galvanized build, obviously it takes a couple kills to fully stack up, but once you do, the damage is pretty substantial. The slash ticks hit for really high amounts. I'd argue that this is the most typical or common way to use the Bramma, as viral slash builds scale a little bit better than raw corrosive damage does, and also it just works really well and is suited to the Bramma's playstyle of shoot one big ass damage arrow and then run away and let the slash ticks kill everything as you walk past them. With that being said, I think that is going to be it for today's video. This is actually a much shorter one than I normally do, but it's the Kuva Bramma. It's just a huge bow that just kills things, and the build that I showed you is absolutely sufficient. Sure, you can do other things like build it for galvanized scope and all that stuff, but in comparison, this one is actually just better, and red crit Bramma builds are just copium. But besides that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one and found it informative. The Bramma is absolutely fantastic and definitely a weapon you want to add to your arsenal if you like to just run around and kill things very easily. But again, I hope you found this informative and that you're all well. Remember to go check out my Patreon at the link in the description below, and also join my Discord while you're down there too. And I will see all of you guys in the next one. Peace!